Today's Monday, July 9th, 2018, and welcome to the Music Business Blitz.
What is good, folks? It has been a little bit, but I am back in the game, baby. I took a little bit of time off, but I am back in the saddle. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we?
Instagram gives users their personalized soundtrack.
Well, folks, the Gram just rolled out their new music feature for stories. For all of you addicted Instagram folks, this is probably old news to you, assuming that you actually have the update. I went into Instagram this morning and I didn't see the music sticker, but such is life. However, if you haven't heard about this new feature, it works like this. It's similar to Instagram sticker and poll features and allows users to simply drag and drop in the brand new music sticker. Once you've dropped the sticker in, then it takes you to a screen where you can pick a song to put over your Instagram story. But do note that currently the catalog contains music from select accounts, so your favorite doom metal band or obscure singer-songwriter most likely isn't going to be up there quite yet, but just give it some time. In addition, the new music feature is also apparently offered as a mode similar to Live or Boomerang, so users can pick a song before capturing a photo or video to sync up their content to the music. And to make things even more customizable, if you have an iPhone, users can select an exact portion of a song that they'd like to play over their photo or story. So my question now is, how are the royalty rates going to be calculated? Will it be a flat royalty payout for a 5-second use of the song? Will different lengths of songs be used to constitute a different royalty rate? Well, I guess in the end, it's your move, Facebook, and make sure that you choose the right direction.
The infamous Sony Walkman just turned 39.
Oh, the good old days. Well, actually, these things were kind of bulky, but honestly, it didn't really matter one bit because now you could take your music everywhere you go. Yes, kids, the Sony Walkman was first introduced to the public in July of 1979. It played the shit out of your favorite cassettes, and you can now take your music when you got out of the car or if you went outside the house for a jog. The first Sony Walkman model released was the TPS-L2. It was a blue and silver device with big buttons and flimsy-ass headphones. It costed, yes, wait for it, $200. $200 in 1979. Hypebot did an inflation calculation, and if the Walkman was released today in 2018, it would cost you $700. So needless to say, it took a little bit before the mass public could cop one, but once you did, game over. And if all of that doesn't impress you, think about it like this. If it wasn't for the popularity of the Sony Walkman, we would have never advanced to portable CD players, mini disc players, iPods, and now our handy-dandy handheld computers that we can talk to people when we want to. And as a very random side note, isn't it crazy that the main use of the handheld computer, or aka cell phone, is to verbally talk to someone, but now somehow it's slowly disconnecting us from talking to anyone? Hashtag think about that.
Drake blows up Spotify and Apple Music numbers.
Now, this shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody at this point, but if you live under a rock, then you probably haven't heard the massive amount of success Drake's new album has had on Spotify and Apple Music. It is just straight up ridiculous. Spotify tweeted out on Friday that Drake's new album, Scorpion, is currently being streamed over 10 million times per hour.
I repeat, 10 million times per hour.
So by those numbers, by the end of that particular Friday the tweet was sent out, the album, which contains 25 tracks, and I'll talk more on that in a little bit, had been streamed more than 132 million times, which means that it broke the last record-breaking album on Spotify, which was by Post Malone. And if that wasn't enough, Drake's streams on Apple Music were even stronger. Apple stated that the album was being streamed 170 million times in the first 24 hours of its release. So apparently, on the flip side, some folks were a little bit irritated by the massive amount of marketing that went into the album, such as Drake's takeover of all things Spotify. But shit, think about it like this. With those type of streaming numbers and with the album recently hitting #1 on the Billboard 200 chart, which, side note, is Drake's 8th #1 album on that particular chart, not only did this particular marketing approach work fantastically, it probably broke all of their projections, but it also set the standard for all other highly successful artists who are waiting in the shadows. So this is the blueprint, folks. This is the blueprint that we have here. And so, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, this particular album contains 25 tracks. If you recall, a couple years ago, Chris Brown released an album that contains shit like 70 tracks that he put up on Spotify with the hopes of increasing the revenue that he was going to get from the particular streaming service by having so many tracks. Now, if you notice, various tracks from Drake's album show up on various playlists, which means that he is going to have a shit ton of revenue created from all of the singles that are showing up on these playlists. I've been told the first half of the album is rap, the second half is R&B, so I mean, in itself, that's pretty cool. Maybe a lesson for all you indie artists out there. You have a ton of B-sides. Continuously put music up so you can stay visible visible to your fans 24/7. All right, guys, that's all I have for today. Do something nice for somebody. Catch up with you tomorrow.